Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. You know how much I love our musical guest. And look at this beautiful person. Élishia Sharie is with us. The Phoenix has risen. We're going to hear her perform. We're going to hear her journey. We're going to talk about that look that she's got going on, especially that background. I mean, much better than this crazy dark background. You look happy and excited, and I'm very thankful for your patience and flexibility. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ted, for having me. I am definitely excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I read your bio. I looked up a little bit. So excited. I love a journey. I love a story. So before we went live, that's what I said. The audience loves that. Hey, what did you do in the beginning, Élishia? Where'd you come from? So give us the 411 on your background.
Oh, man, where did I come from? Well, my origins start in Los Angeles, although I grew up in Santa Barbara County in Lompoc.
Beautiful.
Yes. So, man, I've been singing most of my life.
Did you perform in front of the family when you were young, or how did you?
I was actually pretty shy as a kid. So performing in front of the family was, I would do it, but I'd be very nervous about it. It wasn't until I could get in front of a larger audience. I know that sounds weird, but I've always liked to perform in front of large audiences as a kid.
You know what? I love that because I'm not professional, but when I've performed before, yes, I feel like I am better in front of a larger group.
I don't know, there's just something
the
about
energy, something.
And the energy. I just feel like there's less pressure. There's a certain kind of energy that comes with it. So, at the house, my parents would be like, sing for us. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe just catch me at the talent show at the school.
Sorry, you don't get the performance. You have to come see me in front of people.
Come see me in my element and on the stage. And, there's just something about having a mic.
So when did you know that you wanted to make this a career? Because there's one thing if you perform and one thing at talent shows, but as you grow up and get to be an adult, a lot of times the adulty kind of things take over. When did you know? I
knew when I was probably about 3 years old, and the first time I heard Whitney Houston sing. That is the woman that got me started in this whole thing. So when I heard her voice, it just did something to me, and it still does something for me to this day.
Amen to that.
I still get chills. I still get butterflies anytime I hear a Whitney Houston recording.
She's amazing.
God rest her soul.
Amen to that. Such a talent. So did you decide that type of music was what you would want to focus on? How would you describe your musical journey? Are you a balladeer? Are you kind of a mixture? Tell us a little bit about your musical styles.
So initially, I thought that was the route that I wanted to go in, was soulful R&B kind of route. But as I got older, I started getting exposed to different kinds of music and rock and alternative music. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. So, we're Nirvana and,
nice.
Morissette's Jagged Little Pill was, those were the acts that were taking over. And I really love just the energy of their music. And I just kind of started having this vision of me, being on stage, just rocking out in 6-inch stilettos and guitar. I'm still working on the guitar. A little delayed on that part of the dream, but so even with my music now, it is a fusion of rock and soul.
I love it.
I was calling myself a rock and soul artist, and I've since changed it to a neo-alternative rock artist. Nice. Neo kind of paying homage to, the neo-soulful side of my music, but also saying, hey, this is a new age rock that I'm doing.
So when you perform, are you part of the writing process, the performing process, the whole shebang? And if you're part of the writing process, tell us a little bit about how you get motivated and inspired and what that's like.
Oh yeah, so definitely a part of the writing process. I do work with my husband, who is also a songwriter, and he's my producer. So all of the music that's out there in the universe right now, he
Nice.
had his hand in, he produced it, but he also helped to write a couple of the songs. But most of my music is written by myself. And that's really important to me as an artist because I want people to hear my story and be able to relate to me and the things that I'm going through.
Yes.
As far as inspiration is concerned, I will say when I first started getting back into music about 5 years ago, it was really hard for me to find that inspiration, and I would
Why?
I think because I was so out of practice. As a kid, like especially like in high school, like I was doing a lot of writing, whether that was poetry, songwriting. My best friend and I, we like wrote songs together.
Love it.
And so when I went through like my period of vocal loss, which I guess we can talk about later, I kind of stopped writing. And so when I decided 5 years ago, like, okay, my voice is, in a good space now, I'm like ready to do this. Like the writing part of my life was struggling.
Isn't
um,
that interesting? Was it because you felt like you had to make it perfect? Was it because I feel like the perfection thing gets in the way of a lot of creativity,
it does.
especially like you're describing. You come back to it and you're like, well, the first one's got to be out the gate, the best song ever, song of the year, and you put a lot
Exactly.
of pressure
I
on
need to win a
yourself.
Grammy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, so definitely a lot of pressure, coming out the gates. Perfectionism is something that I've kind of learned to deal with.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm still very much a perfectionist in all of the creative stuff that I do, but I give myself a little more grace now, especially when it comes to
It's a
writing.
great word.
Thank
Great
you.
word. All right. So speaking of that, you picked the title, The Phoenix Has Risen. I
Yes.
love that. Why?
Okay, so well, we'll start off with I'm a total nerd. Okay, I don't know if people know that, but people who really know me, I'm a huge Marvel nerd, and X-Men is like my jam, right? So my favorite saga is the Phoenix Saga. And so when I was kind of going through, my issues with my voice, and then when I finally came out of that, I saw that as, the phoenix rising and coming out of the ashes and being reborn, which is essentially what happened with me was, there was this rebirth that happened. I finally got to a place where, I felt like my voice was good enough for people to hear again. My confidence level was like back up there, and I felt renewed. So the title of my upcoming tour is The Phoenix Rises. For
Love it.
sure. Yeah.
Are you excited about the touring? What's that like in the post crazy pandemic
Woo,
Delta
yeah.
variant world? What's happening there? Describe it. 'Cause
Um,
we have a lot of people ask about live shows, and I
yes.
know that that's really the best way for an artist, in my opinion, to connect with the audience. What are you seeing? Tell us about the tour.
So we have our tour coming up starting in October. So
Amazing.
far, we have confirmed dates in Denver, in Utah, in New Mexico, and then we're expecting more offers at the end of the week for Oregon and Washington, and then we'll have some dates going into next year. So with the whole live music scene, as of right now, most of the venues are just requiring of both performers and attendees that they either a present their vaccination card
Yes.
or
Yep.
b present a negative COVID test within 72 hours of attending that event. So it's a different world with
You're
the
maneuvering through it, though. I mean, I
yeah.
think that artists who have been able to pivot with the changes are the ones that are still continuing to thrive. It was an interesting time for you guys, but the creativity is still there, and the audience is hungry for performances. They want to hear you all perform. They want to hear your message in there. They want to be motivated and inspired. All right. So speaking of that, what are you going to perform for us today?
I'm going to perform my latest single. New
I love that we still call it single. Are you old
I
enough to know
know.
a single?
I'm still calling it a single.
Listen, I still call it an album. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I know it's not called that anymore, but that's what I still call it. So a
Yeah.
single, I love it. And what's the single? And give us a little history on it.
So the single title is called New Strange. And it was a song that I released at the beginning of this year that I wrote towards the end of last year. And it's kind of just a little bit of a narrative on where my mindset was towards the end of last year with the pandemic. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was feeling pretty good, honestly. I mean, I already work from home, so that's fine with me being at the house. But when you take away the ability to perform live and get together with my band regularly, I was really struggling. So I kind of fell into like a little bit of a depression with that because I felt like a very essential part of who I am was taken away, and
Sure.
there was no answers on when I'd be able to go back out and exist as my full self. So I started writing down, these lyrics one night and came up with a melody. And then when my husband came home from the studio, I was like, hey, like I have this new song. I want you to listen to it. See if you can like, create like kind of a bare bones track for me that I can take to the band and let them play on it and get out all of their feelings about this past like 9 months.
Love it. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, so that's how that song came to be.
All right. So we're going to let you perform. I'm going to take myself off. You take a
Okay.
minute, whatever you need to get set up.
Thank you.
Élishia Sharie.
Yes, it's me. All right, I'm getting my music together. I'm get a little.
Love the hair, by the way. Love it.
Thank you.
I do.
You're so kind. I appreciate that. Okay. So
Take your
let's
time.
do this. I'm so ready. Can you hear that okay?
You might want to turn it up a little bit, but
How's that?
yes, I can hear that very well.
Okay, cool. It's been hard finding my peace. All these whispers will not cease. I'm out of my mind, locked up inside. And my demons no longer hide. This is the dawning of a new day. This is the dawning of a new way. This is the dawning of a new age. This is the dawning of a new strange. Don't be afraid now. This is my terrifying hail. They don't even know if it's truth or tale. Better keep your distance in your town, or you might be 6 feet under the ground. This is the dawning of a new day. This is the dawning of a new way. This is the dawning of a new age. This is the dawning of a new strange. This is the dawning of a new day. This is the dawning of a new way. This is the dawning of a new age. This is the dawning of a new strange. Every day is a little bit harder. Every night gets a little bit darker. Who knows the end except the author? So tonight I cast my fears right here on this altar. This is the dawning of a new day. This is the dawning of a new way. This is the dawning of a new age. This is the dawning of a new strange. This is the dawning of a new day. This is the dawning of a new way. This is the dawning of a new age. This is the dawning of a new strain. So don't be afraid. 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 Don't be afraid now. This is the dawning of a new day. This is the dawning of a new way.
Oh my God. So there's a couple of things. I got lots of comments. I take myself off because I never know if you can sing or not. It's the God's honest truth. So I made the mistake once of keeping myself on, and my face did not hide the fact that the person really had been told a lot of lies their whole life.
That struggle. My face tells it all. So I
love every bit of that. I think people who come on, y'all, as all the singers that watch this, all the performers, you had a solid track to sing to.
Thank you.
You performed, and it was not just a pretend performance. You got into it, but your voice is sultry and good and strong and solid, and I loved every second of it, Élishia. I want to tell you, it was beautiful. And I sat there and I thought, God, this encapsulates exactly what we were all thinking. The dawn of a new strange. I love it. I just love the whole thing. Oh, when you sing it, what are you thinking and feeling? What goes through your mind when you're performing a song that you know you were inspired to write, and you know that it's touching other people?
Oh, wow. So many things actually go through my mind when I'm performing, but one of the most important things is making sure that I connect with the audience. So I make a lot of eye contact with, people who are at the venue. Pre-COVID, I was pretty well known to come off of the stage and sing all in your face. I just absolutely love being around people and just, looking them in the eye and telling them, the message that is behind my music, which is often messages of encouragement or telling people to don't be afraid.
Well, it was hopeful. I felt very hopeful. And I'm sorry, we have a little fire engine thing going on here.
That's okay.
But that's perfect. I thought it was just beautiful. One of the best performances we've had on the show. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So tell them how they can find out more about you, download your music, find out your tour schedule. And y'all, we want to get behind creatives like Élishia because it was a crazy year last year. They're trying to come out more. So don't just stream. It would be nice if you paid for and downloaded their music. I'll say it. But tell us the best way they can do that.
Okay, so you can find me anywhere and everywhere online. If you type in my name, Élishia Sharie, all of my credentials will come up, I guess. So ElishiaSharie.com is, my website where you can listen to my music. You can find out what streaming platforms they're on. Also, my social media, Élishia Sharie. I'm on every single streaming platform and downloading platform that you can think of, from Spotify to Pandora, Apple, Deezer, all of them. I'm everywhere. So come.
Well, I hope people go out and experience more of you. That was so, so good. That's why I love that live raw, because you can't, if you can do this, you can do just about anything, because it is not, y'all, it's not easy to get on and perform in front of a teeny little camera and try to figure out how to get your lighting and your vocals and your track.
Okay, can I hear
it's a lot. So you did outstanding, stellar, so good. Y'all get behind Élishia Sharie. Go to ElishiaSharie.com. You can find her. I'll tag her, but you can also reach out to me and I'll get you in touch. Come back anytime you have something you want to release, talk about. I would love to have you back. You're a true talent. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ted. I would love to come back. I will definitely let you know when the next singles come out. I have 2 more coming out before the end of the year.
Well, we'd love to hear you sing them.
That I'm really, really excited about because I'm doing a collaboration with a really amazing artist and guitarist. And so when that one comes out, I'm definitely coming to see.
Please do. I really, you're a true talent. I appreciate you very much. Yeah. Thanks for being, again, flexible. I'll get behind Élishia Sharie. Go to ElishiaSharie.com or reach out to me. We will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for being on. Bye, guys.